This week on Men Don't Talk.
One of my mates' nickname in a group chat, he's called me Grim Reaper's Bestie. That's been one of the best ones yet. And he sent me a massive, but the shit bag of jelly babies. One of my mates got one posted to me and he just put a note in it saying lifetime supply. When a comedian stays always dying on stage, I've literally taken that to a whole new level.
Oh, man.
Actually scared to it. Sorry for my mates though, because they're going to be the ones carrying the coffin. I've got to lose weight. You're all said when
I guess my only question for you is, I've got to get this out of you in my head because some people might be listening to this.
I say that every day. Sorry.
You got me there, didn't you? You got me there.
Well, welcome to the show this week to Men Don't Talk. I've been given the honour of inviting a guest on today. So it's actually a friend of a work colleague of mine called Sarah. And I was putting out the feelers for kind of men that are going through powerful experiences, people that, people may know. She actually mentioned that she's got a friend who's a stand-up comic in Manchester and who's going through a quite serious case of his own at the moment. So it's an honour to have him on today, a gentleman by the name of Matthew McCarthy, or Matt Macca, I believe. Do you prefer to be called Matt Macca?
I only changed Matt Macca because I got kicked off Facebook.
All right. Fair dues. So it's brilliant to have you on today, Matt. So we've got Righteous as one of our hosts and Andy. If you guys can introduce yourselves.
People, I am Righteous Lion, aka slap your favourite radio host in the face with a slice of toast. That is my genuine radio intro, by the way, people. Think yourselves lucky. I'm a comedian and I use that term very, very loosely. And the good people of Men Not Talk have graciously invited me into the fold. So, shoot, here I am.
You're very welcome, mate. You're very welcome. So I'm, I guess, the founder of this. But we all like to chip in and ask interesting people questions and that kind of thing around life advice and what we say to a younger you. And I'm sure Dallo's giving you some of that kind of talk, Matt. But yeah. So we're just after exploring people and find out what makes people tick and just a load of stuff around men's issues and that kind of stuff. Really have a bit of a laugh with it. So I do a bit of a very amateur stand-up on the side. And I look forward to hearing your story, mate.
Get comfy. It's a long one.
That's fine. Go for it.
Don't put intended with that one either. I wish it was.
Absolutely, Matt. So can you just give us a kind of brief summary about yourself and your current situation, if you don't mind?
Bloody hell, brief. I don't think there's a lot long enough. I don't think we can record long enough for a brief one of mine.
Oh, no, go for the jugular, mate. We like it.
It was a bit of a hard one to deal with. I got diagnosed 2014. I had an incurable brain tumour.
Oh, okay.
And, and there's a look on the doctor's face, yeah, I'm screwed here. You know where they go? That look of absolute fear. He said I had a scam. I'd been out with my ex-partner and her kids doing a carnival in Marple. It had been a hot day and I had an excruciating headache. And every time getting like a stab at quite a sharp point. Didn't think anything of it. Anyway, I ended up keeling over on the sofa in pain and agony. Got taken to hospital. And everyone's like, there's nothing wrong with it. In a fetal position. I'm 6'4", I'm not a small lad, so think like Bigfoot, obviously with less hair. The ball going, this really hurt. Make it stop. The wet sponge, like you did when you were playing football as a kid, wasn't going to work. And they told me I had a large lesion on my head, on the scan. That it's big. And I was like, how big? It was like, big. You know, the sort of look you get like, yeah, we're not going to sort this out with a quick bit of chemo. Anyway, I've had years of chemo. I've had 2 major brain operations. I've had radiotherapy twice. The first one didn't work. The tumour was actually a quarter of the size of my brain.
My goodness. So what's that pain like, Matt? What's it? Because people always complain about, you know, a headache or a migraine. Is it like if you could describe the intensity of that pain around kind of your head and brain?
So I get different levels of pain. So the least is like a throbbing headache that most people probably would get. You don't think much of it. And then it would push a bit further behind my eye. And the only way I can say is like, you know, when you've had swelling, you ever had a sporting injury and you get swelling where it's tight, pressure at the same time behind my eye. And then the only way I can describe this, and any married bloke or a bloke who's in a long-term relationship, you know, when you've had your balls strapped to a chair and hit with a sledgehammer. That feeling when you know you're going to be in trouble if you've not done something, with a sharp knife attached to it at the same time. So it was unbelievable, this pain. It was pinpoint accurate, the pain I had. So it was excruciating. I can't describe any pain like it. I've broken bones, fingers, you name it. This was unreal. And like I said, I got taken into hospital, 2 major brain operations, which was a hell of a lot of fun.
Oh my goodness! And that process. I mean, how long are these operations? You know, what kind of thing are you going through?
One was 7.5 hours. One was 5.5, I think. The second one. I'll show you all this down my head. It looks like someone's drawn a question mark on the side of my head. Did you see that all right there?
Yeah, if you can bring your hand up a little bit, sorry, Matthew. So we can just have a Okay.
There you go. So the scar starts here.
Yeah.
Circle right round to my ear and down here. So it looks like a huge question mark. So it's there. The second operation turned out better than the first for how neat the wound is. And the first one looked like a child had gone on it with a chainsaw. Like, it looked awful. I could have come out of Notre Dame going Esmeralda, and you'd have had a fitted in. It was that bad.
I'm sure you remember that moment. Just take you back to the start there, 1 second, because I can associate with only a tiny, tiny little bit of it. Nothing like this. But what was it like being that news? What was it like? Who were you with, and how did they even word that? Then did they tell you what is it? Is it cancer? Like, what did they actually say?
Well, straight off, they don't know. They have to do scans and whatnot. But I was taken into Stepping Hill Hospital. Kept in overnight to have more testing done and whatnot, because obviously we would need to do bloods, check what levels it is to find out a bit more about it. I then got taken to Salford Royal, told I was having a biopsy, and that's when obviously they found out what it was, and they said it was a grade 2 astrocytoma, which is sort of slower growing tumour, but it can still change quite quickly. They don't know what triggers it. So brain tumours, I found out over the years, I found out that brain tumours are the most under-researched cancer. Because obviously, I laugh at this. The word they used was the needle-eye specimens. I was like, well, I'm not signing up for that.
You could tell you're a stand-up, Matthew.
I just take the mick. So the reason I became a stand-up was, one was a way of dealing with it for me, but one of the rooms I was in while having chemo was a group of us, and there were three lads all together, and their wives and partners and family would come in, and I'd sit and just take the mickey out of things. So, you know, when you just do an observation, you see someone doing something, you take the mickey, and you just get into the rhythm of it, and you start giggling, a bit like a heckle. and you slap it down quicker than he's thought of a response. You're like, ha, sit down. That kind of rhythm. And I got into it, and I decided I'd never done it before. And my dad's funny. My dad is very funny. He's always wanted the life and soul of a party. But he beats me to it. And I always remember asking him, what's your regret that you never got to do? And he said, stand up. I said, do you know what? I'm going to give it a go. And I did. I'm guessing you all know the Frog and Bucket in Manchester.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I did the Beat the Frog on a bit of a whim. And I came second. You know, and you go, how have I never doing stand-up before with little notes stuck to, we're talking notes. Briefly read, I just got into it, and I decided very quickly that whatever money I raised from doing stand-up, I would pay into just giving pays to Christie. And I wanted to go somewhere completely different compared to every comedian that's been, and I thought, right, a comedian does a tour, that's what I've always known it as. And I thought, where can I go with this? It's going to be somewhere dark and really funny to make someone giggle, but go, I feel like I shouldn't laugh at this at the same time.
Yeah.
I was writing different phrases down, and I was like, don't fit, it's not me. And then I came up with, randomly, sat in the Christie, and I came up with Tumour on Tour, and it stuck. Then I do a little
on tour, yes, okay.
It's one of those you go, that's wrong. That's just wrong. No, that shouldn't be a thing. So whenever I used to go to networking events and I'd take my business cards, I always used to laugh because I'd pass my business cards around and go, apologies, I know it looks a bit sick, but so am I. And they'd all have a good gig. It breaks the ice.
Absolutely. So I mean, I'll leave the rest of the guys, because I feel like I'm hogging a couple of the questions here, but how did your family take things? How did you mentioned that you've got obviously a partner and kids?
She didn't, well, to begin with, it was a bit of a kick in the balls. You understand, everything gets whipped from underneath you. You don't know how to cope with it. I can remember with the phone, I can show you, it is to do with something else. And I can remember the phone call to my mum to come down. So you can see this case here, and I can remember the phone going like that in my hand. I was going, what the hell is wrong with my arm? And it was just sort of the energy coming out of me. And obviously, I say a trapped nerve, but I don't actually know what it was. I must have looked so simple at the side of Seppin Hill, but fitting in at the same time. Everyone's going past, going, oh, there's another one. Yeah, it was, everything went very, very quickly. I was operated on within a week.
Okay.
So it was a bit like, whoa.
Matt, can I ask what are these time scales then? So what age are you now, Matt, if you don't mind saying?
I don't mind saying.
Get
of
the
all
real
the things
question
I'm
out.
worried about, someone asking my age.
Go on.
I'm 34.
What were you doing as a job, and when were you diagnosed and that kind of stuff then? Like, what age were you?
6 years ago, I was 29.
Okay, right. Yeah. And you've been having treatment for 6 years?
So with the treatment, I would have done. Yeah, it's been just non-stop.
Wow.
My mate's taking me Mickey out and I look like I've had a really weathered paper round. Like, cheers, lad.
And you started doing stand-up after you were diagnosed, is that right then?
Yeah, so I was diagnosed in, June? And that December, of all things, when you just laugh and go, what planet was I on? What did I think was going to happen? I ended up in the paper, of all things. I went to history. They did an interview because I was raising money purely for Christie. And I said I was going to go on Britain's Got Talent. At the time, that seemed a really good idea of publicity. And then afterwards, I was like, yeah, you muppet, what was I thinking? It was a very strange scenario, and I don't know what I can say now. Obviously, I'm terminal now anyway, so I don't care whether they come after this. I don't know if it's my first Grim Reaper or this company, so we'll find out. The scenario of it was you go in a room, you have to, as a comedian, you just have to stop dead faced across the room like a school classroom, and you've got to just suddenly perform jokes.
Yeah.
You know, like a cold-hearted ice queen. I could stick her in lava and she still wouldn't warm up to anybody. She was all worked on, they had. And she just went, yeah, sorry, you're not for us. And I was like, okay, fair enough. And then I tried it again a couple of years later, and this woman genuinely did laugh. And she said, you are funny. We've heard people laughing outside, waiting to go into these rooms. And I'd had people laughing in the queue, so I knew some of it was funny. I knew the comedy I was doing was just not what we're looking for. And I just went, I'm not weird enough, am I? You said, you're too much of a generic comedian. I was like, so basically you want mental patients that do weird scenarios. And she just smiled, and you laugh going, yeah, that's what you wanted. And then you see some of the stuff on Britain's Got Talent, you're like, yeah, you definitely wanted weird. I felt part of me was pleased and part of me was upset at the same time. I was pleased I wasn't classed in the weird category, but also upset that I hadn't got past the first round.
Absolutely. One thing you've mentioned there, Matt, is the word terminal. How did you receive that? How did it, hit you mentally? I can't imagine myself having that conversation with a doctor. I mean, how are you coping with it? How have you been coping with it?
To be honest, of all things, I got told 2 weeks before lockdown.
Right.
No.
When you get slapped with the left hand and then hit with the right hand, I knew it was incurable originally anyway, because of where it's placed. It's placed on one of the major blood vessels in my head. The tumour is right around it, so we knew we could never get rid of it. However, I've had God knows how many rounds of chemo, I've had trial rounds, I've had radiotherapy twice. Yeah, the terminal one was a bit of still knocked me for six. Didn't quite know how to respond to it. Got upset. It was a shock still to hear it, even though you know it's coming.
Yeah.
But,
have they given you a time scale at all, or?
Unfortunately, so. They've given me between 9 months and 2 years.
Okay.
So you timed it well, because we might have had that long to record this.
Wow. When you say
stick out of this.
No, you've helped me there, mate. I could feel my tears coming here because I'm thinking
one of us going, no, don't do that.
I was just interested there, Matt, when you say unfortunately, and I'm just trying to get my head in any way into that kind of situation, and I'm totally failing. But one word I picked up on there is unfortunately, and now I've got a cousin who's unfortunately, and to use that word myself, she's terminally ill at the minute.
Just tried to say it, don't
and I don't know. I spoke to her only briefly, but how did you feel about that? Did you think about, you used the word unfortunately, basically. Is that a blessing as well, to some degree, that you have a time scale that you can do certain things or whatever? I don't know. How does it definitely feel like only a negative, or in some ways would you be, I don't know when it'll be. I have no idea when it'll be, but we can't operate again. How would you feel about that? I don't know.
Well, for me, the thing that's kept me going through it all the way to my daughter. My daughter's 11.
Oh, okay.
The one thing I have done is told her, and she loves the fact that I stand up, mainly because I'm just daft with her and make her laugh. And seeing her smile is just what's kept me going along with my parents. And it's been that same thing. So I know a lot of people say, how do you keep going with it? And it's a focus. And my focus has been seeing her smiling. So yes, for me, one of the things, unfortunately, and I say unfortunately, I know I've said it before, unfortunately, this genuinely is one of those, you go, what did I do in a previous life? So I was one of 3 Christie patients that actually have pain directly from where the tumour is. Because mine was on the blood vessel, it gave me bad headaches. So you can probably see if I show you now. See my finger is there. Can you see that there?
You may have to raise the phone a little bit away from you, Matt. You'll get a wider shot.
Okay. Just there.
Yeah.
There's actually a gap in my skull. I've got a titanium plate in there, and it must be about an inch wide, and it's just purely to drain the fluid. But I get pain from where that is, and it pumps and pulses. So where the blood vessel is, the tumour's wrapped around it, pulses, but it also causes me headaches. So when you asked me at the beginning, how does it feel? I still get those headaches. So I can get just a generic headache just at a laptop, and you start squinting after you've been looking for a while. But I also get like being punched in the face inside my head, that feeling. And then a sharp stabbing pain where I just have to stop what I'm doing and sit down because otherwise I pass out. So I still get that, and my head actually pulses. It looks like someone's trying to break out. You know, like when you see Alien coming through the chest, but you can't quite see it yet. You see that coming through the chest. That's what the side of my head does. So I have a lot of pain medication. In fact, there you go. There's a box full of medication, just all the stuff I take.
Oh, goodness.
And I wish I could say I was high off it all as well, but the size of me, I need enough to knock out a rhino.
I mean, what's your daily routine like now then, Matthew? What does your week look like?
It started off on the beginning of lockdown, just trying to sleep through the pain. I struggled, unfortunately, because the tumour's spreading, it's pressing on my optic nerve in my eye. So I get a bit of blurred vision at the minute. I was looking forward to getting back to some routine. And of all the things I thought I'd ever say, I'm actually missing going to the gym. Just to get out and stretch and exercise. I mean, if you ever thought you were going to see a big fat Bigfoot after lockdown going in the gym going, yeah, let's 10 toes arms stretch, that is an image no one ever wants to see. But I thought I was going to get back to that. And obviously not doing comedy, being out in clubs and whatnot, has frustrated me. So I've been doing a lot of all things. I've been trying to write a TV series because I can't actually get out and about to involve comedians, and also I've been working on some YouTube videos. Put your teeth in there. There you go. That's the medication that actually affects my speech.
You know, I love your spirit, Matt. I give full credit to you, mate. I flipping love your spirit. Righteous, did you have a question there?
Yeah, you said you got into comedy after the diagnosis. I just wanted to ask, a lot of people who get into comedy, especially when they get on stage for the first time, they tend to feel, fear, for example. Now, with you being propelled by a diagnosis of cancer, do you still feel the kind of fear that people say that they feel when they first step on stage? Or is...
You don't know. I think partly because of the size of me. If anyone's going to say anything to me, I've always got the option to slap them. So one of the best gigs I did was actually at the Frog and Bucket, and I hadn't even got on stage and I was already laughing. It was Christmas, and it was one of the lads who no longer works there now had been nipping back and forth in the toilet, coming back, twitching. You know, you're like, I wonder what he's been doing. And the doorman at Frog and Bucket kept laughing because I'm actually bigger than he is. And he kept saying to me, just watch the door. I know them, so he knows I could look after himself. Consider I've got a brain tumour as well. He was like, you still look after yourself. I don't know who's more me or the other people around me going, you're looking after us, what? Anyway, it kicked off, and this got thrown out. Nando staff were coming up to me as the doorman, and then I ended up going up on stage last, and I've never seen fear in a customer's eyes when I got up on stage and like, hello, remember me? This bloke just was like, oh shit.
Oh.
Honestly, the one fear I've got now, obviously with the cancer, and this is a pun and also part of the fun, a comedian's fear is always dying on stage. I've literally taken that to a whole new level.
Oh, Matt.
Oh, there you go.
You know what? You're brilliant.
The next Tommy Cooper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez. I like a comedian through and through, man. I mean, it's like what you said, Dal. That's that spirit that will carry you through, man. And you know, it's an honor to have met you right now, to be honest. You know,
What do you say?
definitely.
Absolutely.
To say, you actually fucking angel at the minute. You've got this light behind your head, so you know when he's an angel because man's shit. He's not been looking after me at all. He's still asleep, one or the other. Choose to wake up and go, what have I missed? Oh shit, oh, no, I'm not looking after that.
Oh, Matt, have you got any advice that any of our listeners to, if a family member is going through cancer or terminal cancer, you as the patient, what would you have liked maybe your family to have received in terms of support or advice or guidance, and it maybe just how to be around you? Would anything have helped?
Yeah, one of the things that I struggled with was one of the things I did struggle with towards sort of finding out. And the word I hated was wish list. That just reinforced. And everyone's going, what's your fancy doing? I was like, mine's not a wish list, mine's a hit list.
Yes.
No, it's sort of reinforcing what's going on without meaning to. They're trying to do stuff for you. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to do? You know, what do you want to do now? And I got this, and then 2 weeks later, they were laughing. I kept getting told, where do you want to go? Go on holiday, go and enjoy yourself. 2 weeks later, Boris Johnson, you can't leave your house. You've got to keep 2 weeks away. So I've done a world trip around my bedroom. I must have done like 70,000 miles of airtime from wall to wall and the garden. It's just having a focus. That's one of the things that helped me. I know obviously with the comedy, mine was slightly darker. I've got a T-shirt that I'm going to get printed. So one of the things I have done and helped patients and nurses is T-shirts with that stuff on. So I've got a T-shirt that says the chemo made me do it. There's another one, you know, the Straight Out of Compton T-shirt.
Yeah.
Chemo.
Oh, nice.
But the one I've written, and I'm still waiting for the delivery, is I'm worried there's food in the fridge with a longer shelf life than me. Oh, I can get away with that though. But my favourite one of all time, and I love this. I'll show you. I keep it. This is like prized possession. You know, people.
This is like your own personal N-word. You know, you use it.
Honestly, like, I feel guilty for laughing, but you are hilarious, man. Honestly, mate.
My uncle actually said that. He said he feels wrong for laughing. He said, but because I said it, he's like, how can I not laugh? I feel bad. Right, I'll show this one for you because this is by far my favourite one. And it says, I don't get what's so hard about cancer. I'm already on stage 4. And I quite happily wear that walking around the Christie while I have treatment, and nurses are high-fiving and laughing, patients on the giggle.
Absolutely.
One of the things I loved, and it did make it easy for a lot of people, I know it did when they said it to me, was it breaks that taboo. You hear the C word, and you're like, oh, people can't cope with it. And it's not because they don't know what to do, they're just terrified.
Yeah.
I lost friends over it because they didn't know what to do. And I've got a funny story for one of them, which still makes me laugh. You know when you go, oh dear God, this is what it's come to. But I laugh in the way of, I couldn't care less at the time, but you know when you go, really? That's what you're bothered about? So on the date of my second operation was a wedding of one of my friends. And I said, I'm really sorry, I can't come. I was gutted. I said, I can't come, I've got brain surgery. It's not like having a toenail with me, you know. My friend's wife deleted me off Facebook because I couldn't make the wedding. That's on Facebook, it makes no difference to me. It's not like someone's removed the finger, but it still made me laugh. I was like, wow, really?
My goodness.
That's a joke, mate. So I'm like this going, oh, just twist it a bit more. Go on, just a bit more. Twist it. Go on.
Oh.
But it just makes me laugh. It just gave me more material for stand-up, to be fair.
Absolutely, yeah.
Ruined her day getting cancer. That's fucking...
I just laugh.
How
What's funny is Well, I know. How rude to have a brain operation.
I
All
know.
mine, if I'd have performed it myself, it was different. But it does make me laugh. I still take the pick out of her now. And what's funny is I can slag her off on Facebook and she'll never know because she deleted.
You can call her out on air if you want, mate. I'm up for that. But Andy, I believe you had a question, and then we'll go to Righteous.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. Just picking up on what you said about you had a partner and some stepchildren at one stage, and you're saying you've got a daughter that's 11. Are you separated from your daughter at the minute? Then do you live kind of separately at all, or does she live in your house?
Daughter's mum. So my ex isn't my daughter's mum. But my daughter's mum has been fantastic. Right, everything what's gone on, and more recently her and husband. So her husband's my daughter's stepdad. They've self-isolated for 10 days so that my daughter could come over on Friday and stay with me. So I live with my dad now. I had to move back after I split with my ex. Earlier last year, I got made redundant. You know when you go, I've got no balls left to kick. There's nothing left.
Have you managed to keep seeing your daughter during lockdown as well? And because I mean, for me, I was very, very relieved. I think it was Michael Gove who he went back on it in the same day, and he said, "No, lockdown is lockdown. But these children that live in different houses have to stay in the one house." And then there was a backlash, I believe, and on Radio 4, he said, no, someone told me some bad information on that, and we've reversed that. So luckily, I got to kind of see my kids during lockdown. They're here and asleep at the minute. But just thinking your situation, I mean, time is precious to you. I can't imagine you're not seeing your daughter.
It get to the point where I was going to go knocking policemen over, going to number 10, kicking it in, going, "What this shit you're saying? Lockdown? Hold on a minute. I've always got so long to go here." Time's kind of the essence. I was laughing. I keep winding my people up, saying, "I will tweet it. Take that shit back now. Oi, take it back. Reverse." But no, unfortunately, no. I've not seen my daughter. Well, I've seen her FaceTime every day.
Right.
And just to answer. Busy. So I just laughed. But I got to see her last week. A mum set out some chairs in the back of the garden. So I went with my dad to see her. We'll have a big catch up. I can't wait for a hug more than anything else. And I know she really struggled. Obviously, she doesn't know it's terminal. She knows it'll kill me. I've not said the word terminal because I know she'll bloody Google it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was hard telling her. I mean, she struggled with a lot of it. Through the sort of chemo I've had, there were stages that I was really ill. I mean, the chemo diet's fantastic. I can't recommend it enough where you don't eat for days. And then I put posts on taking a mickey out. I said I've had a personal trainer who's called PCV, which was the name of chemo I was on. And I put mystic therapy and all sorts, saying he's not letting me have water, he's not letting me have bread.
Oh.
That's making me do sit-ups before I throw up and all sorts, like just taking the mickey out of it. It was a way of dealing with it, but it made it easier for everyone else to understand what was going on.
Absolutely. And Righteous, did you have a question as well?
Yeah. So far, you've been talking about how cancer's affected people around you and whatnot, but particularly because you found out about the diagnosis so soon before the quarantine thing hit, and now being in quarantine and dealing with that, how do you deal with that? I mean, how do you navigate your thoughts and emotions while this quarantine is kicking in?
I've just come up with an elaborate escape from the house. That's all. I'm like going for Mission Impossible. No, to be honest, I've actually had a focus that has helped me personally. That's one thing I found with everything. To have some. I don't mean like going from breakfast to lunch, going home and have a sausage butty for lunch. I don't mean that kind of focus. Just something like a long-winded project that you can get your, I say head around, because that's a really awful joke considering it's a brain tumour I've got, but that's the sort of thing I was doing.
So you say, is it kind of like that? Is it kind of like that guy from Shawshank Redemption with the chipping away at the wall and making chess pieces? Is it that kind of thing? You make a long-term plan to just keep your mind occupied, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just very similar actually. Yeah, just so you don't drift away. Because one of the hardest things I found is when you're not doing it, your mind start. I know it was anyway. Without everything going on for me, your head starts going up a million miles an hour. And you're like, right, I can do this and I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
And when you actually stop and think about stuff, you're like, why am I doing that? That's the most irrelevant shit I've ever done. What's the point? Not going to help me whatsoever. There's also times when you do need to take yourself away from reality. So one of the things I've done is I've got an Xbox, just take my mind off it completely, just to chill out 5-10 minutes, just zone out. But it's not a reality. It has helped. I know it sounds daft, but that helps then kick your ass into game. Go right, crack on. One of the things I've been doing. So I've had 2 projects on the go. Sorry. One of which I've been doing voiceovers. You all remember the original Aladdin?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
You have to think about it. Follow
I think he's thinking about the kebab shop down the road. Don't worry about it.
Was it? The name of
Go on,
Aladdin.
beautiful.
I can't hear. What, the genie one? Massive Mama. Nowhere near as good as Robin Williams. I started doing voiceover work, just testing it on videos I found on YouTube, just taking the mickey. And what I've done, I've got 20 charities at the minute that I've got lined up. I've been doing it with my daughter. I'm also going to try and get 20 meters your dipstick trending, launching it hopefully tomorrow to get videos going. It's a picture of a penguin squawking, and all I've done is 2 meters your dipstick, 2 meters. Just taking it. I've said about, with the rocket going up to space, the SpaceX.
Yeah.
And I've just gone, how can we send people to space and you can't even understand 2 meters? Just taking a mickey. Because you see all these pilots going to parks and leaving crap all over the place and having barbecues and burning golf courses and all sorts. I keep laughing. I'm going to go around with a big stick, just hitting them all. Knocking some sense into them. Bigfoot walking towards them with a stick. That'd be a hell of a lot of fun. You can video that.
And Matt, where can we find you actually on Instagram and Facebook and social media platforms?
Well, I keep laughing. Bigfoot's a conspiracy theory, so you won't actually find me. So there's Macca's my personal one. So it's my surname's McCarthy. I got deleted off Facebook years ago for a badly timed joke. I was quite proud of it, not gonna lie, I was pretty chuffed with it, but at the same time, like, yeah, that was badly timed. You know when the Chilean miners event happened?
Yeah.
And all I put, considering the amount of stuff I'd seen on Facebook, it was nothing. And all I put was, one of the miners was really pissed off, he forgot to clock in. Right, that's all I put. Considering the stuff I've seen, that is nothing. And then next minute, apparently I've been reported a few times, and I was like, what?
Oh, dear.
Lost my account. So obviously they're going, you can't get back on Facebook. I was like, right, I'll have to come up with a new name. Obviously, so close to the original. My nickname was Macca at football at the time, so I just put that in and they accepted it. I started laughing. Literally, this was within an hour of getting it deleted.
So Macca.
But oh God, you're gonna all stop me now, aren't you? Bigfoot's found. That's one of the things I'm scared of. I live up in a place near Werneth-Low, the country park, and I keep laughing. It's a bit of a woodland area, so I keep laughing at people coming through trees with torches. We found him. How do you know? He's snoring. One of the things we're doing with, like I said, with these voiceover videos is it's going to be hilarious animals for charity. So one of the ones I've included is the NHS, the COVID-19 appeal.
Yeah.
Alzheimer's UK. My gran died from Alzheimer's. She had dementia. I did have a really good joke about Alzheimer's, but I genuinely can't remember where I've written it down. That sort of in videos. Just taking the mickey. One of the things I have said from the beginning is I wouldn't take the mickey out of anybody for an illness. It's just a light-hearted breaking the ice, if you like.
Mm.
So like I'd taken the mickey out on my illness now with the terminal side, and I said, I don't understand why nobody on dating sites doesn't believe I want anything serious. It's just like, you're wrong.
Oh, no, but I think that's the power of comedy, isn't it? That absolutely is the power of comedy, and I think one of the questions that we like to ask, particularly comics, when we have them on, is who are your comic idols? Is there two comedians that really stand out for you that inspire you?
Robin Williams was one, not Robbie. Robin. I got one of those mouth bubbles then. Robin Williams, I always loved I loved the film Patch Adams, and I knew what making patients laugh, not for being the clown, but just having a giggle. And I would genuinely test out jokes on other patients and family. And if it sank like the Titanic, I was like, okay, leave that one out. One of the jokes I used to test on, like having a laugh with, he'd sort of poke Mickey, like poking fun at himself. So I go in now and I say, well, I was going to point out the elephant in the room, but you're already looking at me. You've got to get them on board. You've got to get them laughing at you. Yeah. So enjoy the comedy. If you don't, they're like, yeah, I'm not interested. You know.
Absolutely, absolutely. And who would your second comedian be?
Billy Connolly.
Oh.
Followed closely by Peter Kay.
Okay. I think Billy Connolly has been a regular comic that's appeared on our list, hasn't he?
He's top of the league, Billy Connolly. Yeah, definitely.
I was brought up with watching Billy Connolly videos from my dad, but and I say videos and I mean videos where it's wound back, not skip to the start and watch it again. Over and over. And then as I've grown up and I've obviously seen more Peter Kay, Jason Manford. When I want to learn Paddy's tips, he's absolutely stunning. I mean, I know I'm not got his looks, but no likey, no lighty, I need a catchphrase quick.
Nah.
And I mean, I need one quick before time runs out. I have been, and I laugh, and I keep. This is one thing I've got with a lot of friends. One is Spike Milligan's phrase, and I know this is exceptionally done, was what he wanted on his gravestone. And he said it's #1 Edinburgh joke, you know, for the Edinburgh Fringe. And it was, told you I was sick.
Yeah.
I absolutely love these. Just, please let me out.
Oh, that is brilliant. Oh, that is brilliant.
So many different ones to come up with. And one of the things I've got with my daughter, and I love this because this is one of those evil genius puns I'm never going to get to see the pun. You know, the punchline of it. My daughter sent me a video of her dancing with a friend in a bedroom to Mamma Mia, you know, as every kid does. And she was in her pajamas, and so was her mate, and they were laughing. And then you heard her mum shouting from downstairs because it was obviously a bit loud. She ran over, shut the door, and carried on dancing like it was nothing, like you do on stage all the time, you know. So I've got friends that have already agreed to do the dancing with me. And I'm going to try and appeal to the lighter nature side of some of the stars that have been in on stage and in film. So I'd film them doing the same dancing, just on a phone, just dancing. And I won't show you the moves because I've just eaten my tea and things wobble. And it's just light-heartedly joking. And what I'm going to do, one of the things I've been doing, and this is awful to talk about, I hate it, but this is something you sort of, when I heard the C word. I know I say T word, everyone's scared of the C word. I wasn't. I'm scared of going on holiday now. Terminal 1, yes.
Yeah. Oh, bloody hell, yeah.
So it's like a cash out. Terminal 3. Fuck off, I'm not come yet. I've not finished. One of my mates has nicknamed me in a group chat. He's called me Grim Reaper's Bestie. That's been one of the best ones yet. My mates are sick. I know. And they sent me a massive, but you know the shit like the jelly babies. One of my mates got one posted to me and he got just put a note in it saying lifetime supply.
Oh,
Like, you bastards. I like it, but I've done the same. I've even done a note to one of my mates. He's only small. I've said to him that I didn't want him to carry the coffin, only because all my mates are over 6 foot. He'd be dangling off the handle at the back. He just burst out laughing and started crying. And he went, "This is so wrong."
oh.
I was discussing it because I'd rather laugh with it. But what I'm going to do is record these videos and then play them. One at the funeral so that my daughter has a laugh rather than getting upset. Because I'd rather laugh at her. She sent me this video, so I've got one back. And then stuff for like her 18th, just taking a Mickey.
Oh.
And the one thing I've always loved, especially with a girl as well, you know, when a girl brings a fella back for the first time. I've been quite lucky. I've always been over 6 foot. I'm 6'4" and look like Shrek, so not many people intimidate me. I tell you what, this is a true story. This as well. You know, you have a certain look about you when Pinewood Studios ask you to send in some photos for a Bond film villain from being. So when I was in the paper for being in for going to do Britain's Got Talent at Christie, someone got in touch, like he'd send in some photos. I'm like, shut up, no you don't. Like, click.
No way.
A couple of calls a day, and I was like, in the end, I was like, look, can you stop calling me? I'm on treatment. Lips up to a drip. I've been
Oh.
treatment. So they're like, look, Mr. McCarthy, this is serious. We genuinely think you'd be a good fit. So, you know, Spectre, the Bond film where Dave Bautista played the villain.
Oh, yeah. No way. Oh, mate. No way.
Well, when I didn't get the job because I looked too much like all the other villains. Doctor No, Odd Job, and Jaws all at the same time. They wanted someone original.
Is that true? Is that true? They were calling you?
I got one of my mates. I couldn't afford money to get photos done. I'd never. At what point do you go? I know what I'm going to get done. Some professional photos while I'm on chemo done. And he said, "Can you send them some photos?" Didn't hear anything back off them or anything. But it was funny though the fact that they'd actually called and said, "Look, can you?" Oh,
Yeah.
this is a lie. Someone's seen me say, "This bastard." Right, let's get it.
You mentioned some stuff about your daughter there. Actually, close to your heart. You know, I can feel it through the lens already. How much you're caring about her. Can you tell us what kind of a girl is your daughter, and what kind of a woman will she be in future?
She's going to kick the shit out of anyone who comes down. That's for certain. She beats me up. I keep laughing. I keep wanting to send her to like UFC fight classes and stuff now. Like I know I'm not going to be there, but protect yourself, love. She has got a very dry sense of humour, which I love. She's got a very similar sense of humour to me. Which she get like these videos I've been doing. Some of the stuff that other people don't get, she giggles at, but tries to hide it, knowing it's funny, but like that shit, all at the same time.
Yeah.
So one of the jokes I'd written purely because we'd been to see The Lion King, and honest to God, I don't know where some stuff comes from. You know what it's like when you get an idea and you're like, I've got to put this down because otherwise I'll forget.
Yeah.
And I wrote the world's shittest dad joke. I've never written a dad joke before in my life. However, this one I took great pleasure in telling her because it's going to be included in one of the videos. And it's a video of a pack of hyenas, and one of them sort of walks away from the pack and then comes back. I'm just going to go, man, I am buzzing. I've got a new job. What is it? I start on Monday. I'm a lion barber, but it's not going to be my main job though. And she just went. I'm still going to include it. I know it's a proper shit dad joke, but I was still proud of myself.
That's a proper dad joke. I like that though. Oh.
It's weird though. It's great pleasure going, yes, nailed it, dad. Tick off the list. There's the bucket list. There's one.
I think you've got a great spirit, and I think one thing that we've always asked on the show as well is kind of who do you speak to when things just get shit and you're not in good spirits and you're feeling low on that day? Do you have anyone that you actually go to and speak to? You've got a close circle of friends?
Yeah, I've got a really good circle of friends. A lot of friends I went to school with. There's always the mirror as well. If you've got split personalities, I find I quite enjoy that. I test that one out on a regular basis. No, I'm only kidding there. It's only when I get aggressive do I realise there's no one there. I speak to my friends. I've got a couple of good friends that I speak to on a regular basis, and I'll text just seeing how I am. Same with me with them. Just because I've got a lot of shit going on doesn't mean they don't have shit going on. I know one of my mates is struggling because he's looking like he could be made redundant soon. So it doesn't just stop with us. Same with you guys, you know. Everyone's got their own thing going on. It might not actually be a big deal, but to you it could well be a big deal. You've never had to face anything like that before. I mean, I've certainly never had to face anything like this. I mean, you know, it's bad when the Macmillan nurses look at your medical history and go, shit, you've been through a lot. You know, that's always a good
sign. I think,
And so I've always spoken to Christian helpline, the cancer centre there, Macmillan nurses. Brain tumour charity, they've been great with me especially, but also just friends making sure I've not gone out of touch with them. One of the things I struggled with, especially after operations, was actually going out. I was in a lot of pain, and I still am now. There's days where I can't do anything because I'm in after a long time, and I do let them down. But they know, and the next time I make sure they invite me out if they're doing something, because I know a lot of people struggled with, and a lot of people I met on cancer treatment and what it might be, you know, just support. Facebook's great for it. There's different support groups. There's a friend of mine, I was on the phone to her last night for an hour and 45 minutes just laughing at some of the cancer jokes I've come up with, some of the stuff he's just giggling. It's so wrong. But I've got to say, though, it's the first time I've ever been upset to say to any man, mine's bigger than yours. Stood in front of a nurse, sobbing my heart out, going, it's bigger than everybody's.
Do you know, there are certain moments when we do these podcasts where I just feel that I wish that we just had one of those Joe Rogan platforms, mate, because I think the way you come across I think the way you come across, the way you're dealing with things, I think it's inspirational, mate. I think you'd help a lot of families, you'd help a lot of people going through something like this, mate. So whatever I can say today is just keep that energy up wherever you're getting it from. You know, bless you, mate. You just keep it up. It's inspiring to me when I'm thinking about some of the things that, you know, that can hold you back. And I think absolutely inspiring. Andy, over to you, sir.
Yeah, sorry, Matt. Just in regard to that, it affects people obviously that are going through the treatment. You know, people like yourselves, but I imagine it has a massive ripple effect on all the people around you as well. And in regard to that, I think I remember being younger, and it was someone at school, kind of a friend of mine, whose mum died, and everybody was having that conversation of what do we say to him? What do we say when someone gets this terminal diagnosis? When the mum dies, when that's happening to someone, what do you want those people to be? I imagine it's just genuine, but how do those people react? How do we address that nervousness of even talking to you and that kind of thing?
Well, as I found out, delete my Facebook if you can't go to the wedding. Some of it's just being there, just saying, look, and I know I've had recently a lot of people saying to me, like some of my best mates going, I don't actually know what to say to you. Look, I don't know what to do either, so you don't have to apologise. But just saying, if you need anything, just give me a shout kind of thing. Being there just to text every now and again and just saying how you're doing today, or it doesn't. Some people react differently to it, and I've noticed that massively, especially obviously with the taboo of doing stand up and cancer don't really go. I've made people cry at gigs and walk out, and I've laughed and I'm not being funny. I'm the one dying here. Where's she going? And taking the piss out of people leaving. And it's been a sore subject because they've lost someone recently. She came up and this girl just hugged me and burst into tears. And I was like, shouldn't this be the other way around? Shouldn't I be bursting into tears? And she just laughed and she went, no, I feel so bad. I was like, why are you feeling bad? She went, you're the one going through it. I said, but so you've got a similar experience. Doesn't just stop with me.
Absolutely.
And the one thing I can say, which has made me laugh all the way through, people have apologised to me for having headaches. You've got a really bad headache. I'm so sorry. I don't suddenly control headaches. I'm not the puppet master. Headache today. But it's a lot of the people that have struggled to talk just stay clear. Sometimes it's because they don't know how to react to it, not necessarily don't want to say anything. Some people don't want to talk about it because of past history with them, or they're just not that type of person of the pat on the shoulder and how you doing, give a hug kind of thing. Not everybody has to be there. It's just a case of, look, do you need me to do anything for you? Can I help? If you want to talk, I've had one of my mates who tells me you can call anytime, we have the same conversation every time we speak, and I'm like, I'll ring at 3 in the morning. He's like, you better fucking not. Like it's a running joke.
Yeah.
Callum, so I know you've got a question there, but my only little bit of angle with that was, I think there was apprehension with a lot of people when there was this illness with this lady, that do we address it? So my question, I guess, really more precisely is, is it like stand up? Should you address it? Do you want people to say? Because I think some people were like, do we talk about it? Do we not talk about it? Like surely you've got to address it, really, haven't you?
You've got to address it to see what the person's response is like. The one thing I have found, and I know, and I can only say this about Mac, she wanted to bury her head in the sand. And she struggled with that and didn't talk about it. Whereas I wanted to address it. I was stood there going, bring it on.
Yeah.
I have had other people like, I don't care. And she said, I could quite happily walk out of this room and not know what's going on in your head. But all right, cheers, yeah, great, thanks. You can imagine why they're an ex. Whereas I know, obviously, in that situation where it was like, do we address it? You can only find out, you can only ask. You're not going to lose them as a friend by just saying, look, how are you doing? I know, obviously, what's happened. And you don't need to know the details of what's happened to the extent of, so how much did they remove or how did it go? How was the death? How was it? Were they holding your hand in the last grasp sort of thing? You don't need to know that. It's just knowing that you're there for them. And saying, look, I know what's going on. We can talk about it. We don't have to talk about it. It's entirely up to you. And in time, they'll either open up or they'll shut you down. And you can tell in a minute. It's the same. Do you know how I can explain it? Is when you do stand up, the first 30 seconds of a gig, you know whether the audience is warm to you or not, don't you?
Yeah. Immediately. Yeah.
Usually whether you can duck quick enough to avoid the bottle things. That works in a very similar way, as in you can tell whether they're receiving your questions in the right way or their responses almost. In the sense of, so I know obviously what's good. You say to them in the sense of, I know what's going on. Not how have you been feeling, but what would you like to talk about? Is there something else you'd like to do? Do you want to go away from it all? Do you want to go on a trip or like a weekend away? Do you want a boozy lads night out, or do you want to just sit and relax? Some people, I know a lot of people don't like doing memory boxes.
Mm-hmm.
I've been going through my laptop and finding some stupid photos of me as a kid and laughing with my daughter and going, oh dear God, what is that? But I've laughed with my daughter to those memories, and I can only say it's just creating memories, because once you're not there, from my aspect, I don't have to worry about it. Yeah. Well, unless there's someone waiting for me at the gates of hell, because I know where I'm going. If I go near a church, I can feel like a burning sensation and the smell of bacon. You're like, is that me or someone else? Hold on, what's going on here?
We did an episode a good few weeks ago now, Matt, and we talked about, and we tried to open up as much as we could about what is your greatest fear. So I guess the situation that you're in, that might be because of that, or it might not. Like, what is your greatest fear in your mind? Is there anything you can delve into there?
Well, things falling off for a start when I touch anything. Showing up to flames. The one thing, since everything's gone on, I know the time scale. I started to get my head around the incurable side. And I thought, I'm doing all right here. Everyone said, you look quite well, which also scared me. I don't really feel it. I've got at the minute. I've got a mohawk going. You can probably see. So on this side here. So here, this side.
Yes. Yeah.
The radiotherapy took all that hair off. That was when I first started with the cancer. I used to spike. So your hair looks very similar to what I used to have, but I used to gel it so I look like Sonic's ass. God only knows why. I don't understand why that look was impressive. You know Neville from Harry Potter? That's what I used to look like.
Oh, Neville.
I've turned into Uncle Fester as time's gone on, so I don't feel like everything's been really fair. And now I've turned into the white Mr. T. I couldn't pick any worse characters as we go on here, could I? You know, you name me, I'm going. But the biggest fear was originally, of all things, was losing my hair because I sort of prided myself on it. I've no idea why. It was awful. Sonic's arse, of all the things I could think to style it off. It was the fear of being ill and not being able to look after myself is the one I'm terrified of. I hate not having independence. And I told my dad, I went, you will come in and smother me, won't you? He went, after I've robbed you first, like laughing. He went, where's the money? Like, not telling you.
I'd love to be a fly in the wall between you two. That's
Oh.
No. I'll tell you what comes to the funeral, you'll have more of a giggle. Because I'm leaving notes and all sorts for family. I keep laughing. I'm tempted to bury 2 peas in the garden and leave a metal detector for my dad saying I buried it in the garden. Next March, this spot, and I've got Macca crosses. And just have little pennies or stuff buried in the garden. My dad going along with a metal detector. That'd be hilarious. The only downside is just realised I moved out of light there.
Oh.
You mentioned about the comedy stuff that you're leaving there. Have you thought about? Obviously, we've all probably watched Afterlife recently with that kind of thing, with like video diaries and what kind of thing. Have you considered any of those kind of things?
I tried doing one and burst into tears. Why I decided to do my daughter's the first one. I thought afterwards, it's like you dickhead, right? You picked the hardest one to do.
Yeah.
But you know when you get to the point where you can't even see the screen to pause the video because your tears are running down your face, and I just shut the laptop. But I did it, not realising where my other hand was. So I trapped my hand as I slammed the laptop down. So this video, I laughed. I deleted the video before I even watched it. So I just burst into tears again. So I've got visions of this video of me going, "Oh, you fucking fascist!" Half of me wanted to wish I'd not deleted it.
Yeah, that sounds like it's enough anyway. She can see by the tears how much you mean, and then she gets to laugh at the end.
She's like,
absolutely.
Well, to be fair, she does love it when I injure myself. Back of the head, she's killing herself laughing, going, that was quite funny. That, oh, really?
Oh, Matt, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on today. I mean, is there anything that you'd like to summarise or any messages that you want to give out to anyone? And just a thanks from, for myself for coming on and sharing your chapter today.
No, thank you very much for having me on. I loved it. Watch the videos. So Hilarious Animals for Comedy is going to be out and about. And obviously I'll be taking a mickey out of this chat in one of them. But I'll include, obviously, one of the things I've done is including talking. Because men don't talk. It's a bravado thing of not having it. There were times where I'm not doing this. And other times I was like, stuff it, what's anybody going to say? I take the mickey out of it. Only because that was my way of dealing with it. But I know it helped a lot of other people as well. Anything to help other people in a similar situation or that are struggling with anything. I know I've got an awful sort of sentence, if you like. It's not a dead. I feel like I've got homework due in at a certain time. I don't know when that deadline is. The teacher's going to crack me in the back of the head and that's it, time's up kind of thing. That's my mate put it. Reaper's bestie. Is just that is like I said, my biggest fear is not being able to look after myself. And obviously with this lockdown, not going away on a holiday with family. So actually go and do things you've always wanted to do. I know people live without having any regrets, but it's not always possible. Life flashes by in such a, flash of light kind of thing. It's flashing past you before you've realised. And just enjoy it as much as you can. Because otherwise you end up looking like a cracked Easter egg like I do.
The one thing I noted down while you're talking there was about the memory side of things. Just from my personal circumstance, I watch my kids look through pictures on the laptop and all that kind of stuff, and they're engaged and they love it and they love looking back. But what I would say to people out there as well is that a lot of people do this, and I only did it last year. Was actually made a book, like our year kind of thing, and it all for my boys, and there's pictures in it and stuff, and they really, really engage with that more than it being on a screen. And they get this book and they thumb through it, and they absolutely love it being in a book, a little book with that story in. And it's not advice for you to do it. Go on, sorry.
So how times have changed. None of this Instagram shit when we were kids.
Yeah. I mean, sure, in any way whatsoever, they'll love any of that. I just from a personal point of view, they love the books now. We do it every year, and they absolutely love it. I guess my only question for you is, I've got to get this out of you in my head, because some people might be listening to this.
I say that every day. Sorry.
You got me there, didn't you? You got me there. What would you say to someone who searched the internet looking for this kind of thing because they've had some sort of diagnosis, or they're worried about something, or they're worried about treatment, they're worried about if they're going to lose their hair, they're worried about all these kind of things? What's your advice to someone like that? So say you were working for Christie's or whatever, and someone's in your situation at the start, what kind of advice would you give to them?
Don't stress too much about it, because that genuinely, obviously with the cancer side of it, yes, there could be something bad at the end of it, but until you get to that stage, it's not a case of ignoring it. Just don't worry about that too much. Try and enjoy things, because like for my situation, obviously being terminal, that time will come and you won't. Like, I've had a year go by and it's just flown by, but I've not been well enough to do things. So I've created memories with my daughter just by being daft. I bought a mermaid blanket for my daughter and I put it on and it looked like a slipper. A flipper rather than me. It didn't look like a full blanket. So I started taking a mickey and started pretending to be a beached whale on the bed, just laughing. And then we've got a water slide in the garden. Basically it's like a piece of plastic bag the full length of the garden. I started laughing, went and ran in and grabbed this blanket, put it on and started going, it was daft. Just that daft memory. We didn't get a photo of it, but every time we see a seal doing it, she giggles and just looks at me. Straight away. She's thinking to be in the garden. But it doesn't have to be anything extravagant. I mean, we did Disney World while I was well enough. That was a bit of a, let's go and do it now.
Yeah.
Paris with my parents, and it was great memories. She loved it. Just enjoy things, stuff that you wouldn't normally do, and it's not about going on a hike or, if it with family. Yes, you can do things on your own. I'd love to go to Hawaii. I don't want to go on by my own. That's kind of pointless to me. That's not enjoying. I can sit in the sun at home, like we've had this heat wave. Well, I say sit at home. We're in the UK. We get 1 day a year, and I enjoyed it. Actually take the time. And like you said about the folders of the pictures, I'm at the stage now where I've got 10 USB sticks and I'm putting the photo albums into it so that, say for example, I was taken ill next week. He said 9 months to 2 years for me. It could be less, it could be more. We genuinely don't know. And I say they genuinely don't know. And I mean, it's the most under-researched cancer. So for a lot of people, they might say 2 years and that's you cutting it close kind of thing. Well, it could also be because where it's located, it could be tomorrow. My dad doesn't know my laptop password for a good reason. Not that reason you're got folders and folders of pictures. So for my daughter was a baby. Yeah, just to enjoy yourselves. And like you said with the photo books, I've been doing that, putting photos on USB sticks and all sorts. That's been something I found really tough because obviously I'm seeing the photos again for the first time for God knows how many years. And the memories I've got of those photos I've struggled with. We have good days and bad days, and you do it as and when you can. Not rush anything. Obviously, depending on your time scale. If you say you've got several days and it's fast as anything. I joke, I still love them. Have you all seen the film Deadpool?
Yes.
There's a joke in it, and he says, the doctor told me I've only got... He didn't tell me I didn't have to. And he started at 5, and he went 5 years, 5 months, and 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
I'm stealing that. It's going to be done. I keep laughing. I find up some of my friends with the funeral and things, and I said about the video for my daughter when I do the Mamma Mia dancing. That is going in purely because I know it'll make them laugh, and it won't be as much of a sadden as I say shock, but it's not a shock because we're on. Somebody come out of the blue and going, surprise! But it'll be a light-hearted approach to it, and I want to make my daughter laugh because she struggled with a lot of it. I know she has. And when I said I saw her, and it was sort of 2 meters apart, we laughed and joked. She got upset before we went up there because she said I can't hug him. That was tough to do. She's 11, bless her. She's so strong as well, but so young at the same time. But she's solid, absolutely rock solid, and she's kept me going through a lot of it, definitely. Which makes a big difference. Not everybody has that. And if you don't, you've got to find a focus to keep yourself going. Because if you lose, not a focus as such as, right, I'm going to lose 4 stone. Not that kind of focus, because that you just go to Greg's and get a load of donuts. It's got to be a long process of a focus. You've got to have little targets or little milestones to reach.
Absolutely.
Just to keep yourself in a sort of bloody longer. Because you lose sight of it. If you said somebody now says, right, in 2030 I'm going to go away and I'm going to go and see the Himalayas. I'm going to go around Route 66, do a load of driving around America. It won't happen. You just be like, I'm sure I said something about driving around here. It just wouldn't happen. It's going to be short milestones and steps, and like the photographs and the memories. Making the memories is a big thing. It's not necessarily for you, but for family and loved ones and friends and whatnot. So, and one of the things that happened, and one of the things that really hurt, there was a young lad called Stephen Sutton, did the Teenage Cancer Trust. You know the photo with Jason Manford where he's got his thumbs up?
Yeah.
At the Christos of the cancer unit there, Teenage Cancer Trust, and I went in at Christmas Eve and did stand up for them. And that's got to be, out of all the gigs I've done, that's got to be one of my favourite ones because these kids, it's Christmas Eve. I say kids who are teenagers and adults. I could relate to they could relate to all my sort of goings on and everything going on with me. But I was taking a mickey out of the same time. I took the mickey out of the lighting bloke because he put a green light on and it happened to hit me. And I went, I did a Shrek joke at the beginning, mate. You're a bit slower. Don't put it on again, please. He kept putting it on randomly, and I was like, seriously, I will slap you. But that memory, I embarrassed one girl who'd been through treatment, and she kept hiding away because I picked on her dad. I'd done a joke about, you all got, saying I was embarrassed to say mine's bigger than yours. It's the only time I've ever been upset to say it. And this dad got it, and his daughter got it, but I picked on it her dad, and I went, not being funny, I've had 3/4 of my brain removed here, and I got that faster than you did.
Yeah.
She went bright red because I picked on her dad. But of all the places she turned to was a vending machine at the side of her. So all she did was this. It's like me doing this now. You ready? So she turned and this big beam of light sort of appeared on her because this vending machine was on. And I went, love, of all the places you could have turned to, you've just let yourself up there. That's just made me want to pick on you even more now. And she just laughed. She was a patient who made a giggle. And I spoke to a few of them after Christmas, and he said, you know what, I came out smiling. And he said, like, my jaw was hurting from laughing, but also because we got to go and see family. And a lot of them said, like, I was giving them proper hugs, not just like the answer that everyone hates when you get your cheeks pulled. You're like, God, I wish you'd bugger off.
Yeah.
Actually hugging them.
Yeah.
that was nice. That was a lot of enjoyment. So those memories that they've now got from me sort of saying how bad mine's been. I even joked, you know, these kids you see in Africa when they do the adverts for WaterAid, and it says like, this poor girl walks the 15 miles to get a bottle of water and then walks home with it. I joke saying these poor kids in Africa are looking at me going, "Thank God I'm not that." Christ, like joking about it. Man can do by far. He is from South Africa, but he does this Nigerian accent and he does this voiceover for an advert. And he turned and he went, "We could so rip you to pieces with that. I've got we'll then go, I'd rather walk 40 miles to get water than have your life."
Oh.
Well, we laughed. It was just a running joke. But
yeah,
having that, and he said, knowing what I've got going on, he said he does sort of pay attention to the little things that are important and not something that's minuscule where you go, "Yeah, I can't be asked on it."
absolutely.
So, and I seem to be on cheat day more days than I'm actually going anywhere because obviously the gym's not open.
Yeah, I think the nation's with you there, Matt.
Yeah, but I'm just getting sorry for my mates though, because they're going to be the ones carrying the coffin. I've got to lose weight. You've all said when I go.
Oh, something else. Matt, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on today. I really can't wait to hear this podcast when it does come out.
That'll be good.
Absolutely.
It will
Brilliant.
certainly be plenty of YouTube videos doing from it. Anyway, I've already done a few. Like I said, they're going to be posted. So as and when I do, I hope you're all going to tag him and start taking a Mickey. Try all you want. And
we'll share them, get them out.
And again, if anyone ever wants to talk sort of thing that are listening, by all means, feel free to add me and talk. I'm always there for a lot. I don't mean like a doctor's GP surgery. I'm not testing anything else. Still, definitely not down for that. I've got enough shit like that.
Yeah.
I'm already green as it is. And I don't mean that area before you say anything.
No worries, man.
Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for coming on. It's
no
a
problem.
real pleasure.
Thanks for sharing your story with us. Anyway, it's been a service and a gift, and I think you've definitely, by shedding light on this, I think you've definitely helped someone somewhere, just like you hopes you would have. So, yeah, thank you.
Big thank you.